In this video, I'm gonna walk you through each stage of building a high converting website for your SaaS so you know exactly where you are and what to focus on next. Most SaaS founders treat their website like a one-size-fits-all template instead of something that makes sense for their exact situation. But the truth is, your SaaS should change depending on the stage your SaaS is in. After working on both early stage and growth stage SaaS websites, I noticed each stage needs a different approach. In the next few minutes, I'm gonna break down each stage of a SaaS website and show you what actually works. Okay, but before we jump into the stages, I want to quickly shift how you think about your website, because this is where most SaaS founders actually go wrong. So most founders I talk to, they are secretly thinking, if I just copy what bigger SaaS companies do, my site will convert. And to be honest, it sounds logical because they are bigger and therefore they must know what they're doing, right? But the problem is their website is built for their exact stage with a big team, with a big budget, and they have completely different priorities. And when you copy that, you're just building for a stage you're not in. That usually creates a lot of complexity without better results. Instead, I think you should ask yourself a different question. So not is my website good, but is my website right for the stage my SaaS is in right now? Because your website should not look the same in the early validating stage, the startup stage, and the scale-up stage. It needs to match your specific stage, effort, and the budget, so it's actually doing the right job at the right time. So let me quickly walk you through what that looks like at each stage. You can see where you are and what to focus on next. Okay, in the early stage, the validating stage, your website just has one main job, and that is to validate product market fit and get people onto a waitlist. Because if people won't even give you their email, that's actually a real problem. You need to focus on how to actually validate your product. Email is actually a currency, so to say. So your site should actually be way more simple, but it should also not be looking like something you just put together in a minute or so. You should still put some effort into actually trying to convince people to join the waitlist. So it has to look like a real product, even if the product isn't even built yet, or you haven't even made a single code line, but you should use it as some sort of test. Actually, it's called a smoke test. This first version should be testing the positioning of your product. So you need to find out whether or not people are interested enough to actually exchange their email for this early access. And you can sell it with they get some sort of deal, or they will be able to give feedback throughout the product so they can make it go in the direction they want, so forth. So here's what you should actually try to ignore and some of the mistake you might run into. So one of the things you need to really know is that you don't need a full website yet with blog post and an about page, company story, and all of that, because we are just validating right now. That's a lot of time and maybe even budget and energy you will burn if you try to do that. So the big mistakes are overbuilding, like have a full real company site way too early, but also underbuilding, so to say, and just putting up something terrible where they can't see that you're actually passionate about testing this product. If you are not making a website, that could also be a problem, because then you're just hiding the product and not actually validating it. And so many SaaS founders, they build the product because they are problem solvers, but they end up building a product that nobody wants because they haven't tested out positioning, they haven't tested out whether or not people are willing to pay for it, whether that being an email or actual money. Before we go to stage 2, I just want to say, once you have people on the actual waitlist, you have some sort of signal, then you can actually start to be thinking about stage 2 of your website. Okay, so in the stage 2, we're looking at the startup stage. You're moving from, is this a good idea, to can we actually consistently sell this product to our target audience? So now your website, the job is to build the trust, positioning, and messaging around a clear ICP. And ICP is your ideal customer profile. The more specific your ICP is, the easier it is to like speak to that specific person's need. So people, they will look at your site and they will be thinking, okay, this is a real business, I can trust these people. Here's what the site should be looking like. You should move away from a simple validation page to a real website that sells your offer. So now you can actually start testing. So you want a clear positioning around your ICP. You want a structure that can scale with your still unpredictable growth, and a focus on conversions and not just collecting emails. Because if you are not earning money, there is no business in the long run. We really need to start trying to earn money, and therefore even validate it more, because the whole email thing was great. Now we need to earn money. And then of course, if you have some sort of social proof already from the validating part, this is also where you start to show it. So you could have been giving them beta access or whatever just to get some feedback, which you can now show on your startup stage website. The reason why the old version doesn't really work is if you just have this basic waitlist style page at this startup stage, you can actually lose money, because people are willing to pay because you already validated, or at least you should test out if they're willing to pay. So if people might be ready to buy, your site doesn't really help if they can only sign up for a waitlist. The classic mistake here is trying to DIY everything or let AI spit out a generic site, because when your website is generic and there's no like real strategy behind it, your results are also going to be just as generic or mediocre. So put some effort into the stuff you make, whether or not you're doing it on your own or you are hiring somebody like me. If you need somebody to help you, then you can always book a call with me and we can go over your whole setup, and depending on the stage you're in, we can see if it's a match or not to work together. At some point, you're not at a startup stage. You don't just want to look legitimate anymore. You also want to scale and start attracting talents, investors. This is where the website has to grow up again, so to say. In the scale up stage of your business or your SaaS, your website actually becomes a company infrastructure, so to say, because now your marketing, HR, sales, they all need to either be able to use it or have some sort of setup that helps them enhance their own work within the company. Now it's just not about one single funnel, it's about a scalable system that can actually grow and scale with your company and the growth you have. So your site should at this point be looking into how you can make job posts for hiring, and then of course also blog post and content to build around authority and also to get some traffic into the site. You would need sales pages that are designed for high conversions and can plug into your campaigns, whether or not they are from paid ads or if you're building out outreach material. And then you also want a setup where you can test and improve conversions over time without breaking anything. So A/B testing or just building out new sales pages, which you can test with your sales team. The focus here is to build a setup that multiple teams can actually use. Also really hone in on who you are, what you offer, who you're making this product for. Because in the startup phase, you might still be figuring out who your ICP is, and you should be testing that. But at the scale up, you want to really double down on what is working and who you're talking to. The biggest mistake here is waiting until things are already breaking before you invest in a proper scalable website. So now you have seen how the website needs to change from early validating to startup to scale up. You might be looking at your current site thinking, yeah, this doesn't match the stage we're in. So now you know how it is at each stage, and you can absolutely take this framework and go implement it yourself. But turning it into a site that actually matches your stage, your budget, your goals, and on top of everything else you're doing, that can also be pretty overwhelming. And that's exactly why I offer this done for you website build strategy offers, where I go through the whole process together with you, from clarifying your stage, positioning, mapping out the site, and then of course designing and building it for you. So instead of guessing, you end up with a website that's built for the stage your SaaS is in right now, can grow with you as you move from validating to startup to scale up. If you want to, you can always book a quick discovery call session with me, and then we go through it. It's completely free, and we just use 20-30 minutes to talk it through, and then we can see if we are a match or not. So that's the whole sales thing from me. So the big takeaway here is your website should always match the stage your SaaS is in, not someone else's stage. When you do that, everything changes because now you have a purpose and your site actually helps grow instead of holding you back. And if you want to, you can always check one of my other videos where I go through a 3-step framework on how you can actually build out a great converting and scalable website. It's free and you can just go check it out. That's it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and remember to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this.